Good evening, and welcome to the Crypto Overnighter. I'm Nikodemus, and I will be your host as we take a look at the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. And remember, none of this is financial advice. And it's 10 p.m. on a Tuesday, April 11th, 2023. Three groups that support cryptocurrencies are working together to stop a new law in Texas. This new law would take away many benefits that crypto miners in Texas currently have. The Texas Blockchain Council, the Chamber of Digital Commerce, and the Satoshi Action Fund are asking people who live in Texas to lobby their representatives against the law. Now, the law is called Senate Bill 1751, and if it's passed, it will make it harder for people to run facilities where they mine cryptocurrency. The law will change parts of the Texas Utilities and Tax Code. The campaign is called Don't Mess with Texas Innovation, and according to them, the bill does not adhere to any free market principles. So what's going on is simple. Some mining companies are part of a program run by the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, or ERCOT. This program pays them for adjusting their power usage during high demand. Specifically, they get credits for not using electricity during peak usage times. Now, after this big winter storm in February 2021, Texas power grids started getting attention from lawmakers and regulators. During the storm, millions of people did not have power or even running water for days. Now, it's important to note, crypto mining companies did not cause an energy crisis in Texas. That's because they temporarily shut down or reduced their operations during the crisis. But some lawmakers, like Elizabeth Warren, are asking hard questions about the energy usage and possible environmental impact of crypto mining firms. Now, the campaign said that in July of 2022, Bitcoin mining firms helped save 50,000 megawatt hours of electricity. And this was during a time of very high heat and equally high energy demand. A surprising number of people in Texas work for Bitcoin mining companies, more than 22,000 of them, according to the three groups part of the campaign. Some of the largest companies include Core Scientific, Riot Platforms, White Rock Management, and Argo Blockchain. Although Argo mentioned in December that they'd be selling their Texas facility to Galaxy Digital. Now, please take just a moment to like, follow, and subscribe to the Crypto Overnighter. It makes a big difference when bringing in new folks to the show. So, thank you. On April 11th, the Central Bank of Montenegro announced that it had signed an agreement with Ripple. The purpose of the agreement is to develop a strategy and a pilot program for a Montenegrin digital currency. And this is going to be in the form of a central bank digital currency. Montenegro has used the euro as its currency since 2002, even though it's not part of the Eurozone. James Wallace is RippleX's Vice President for Central Bank Engagements and CBDCs. He said that more details about the project would be revealed later in the year. This project will go through several stages, which include identifying the practical application of a digital currency or a national stablecoin. According to Wallace, a sandbox stage is planned for the future digital currency. Now, during this stage, the currency will be put into circulation under controlled conditions. Wallace said that they will work closely with the central bank to determine the use cases, key success factors, and timelines. That project will start this month. In a statement, the governor of the Central Bank of Montenegro said that the bank would work with the government and academic community to, quote, analyze the advantages and risks that CBDCs or national stablecoins could pose with respect to the availability of electronic means of payment, security, efficiency, compliance with regulations, and most importantly, the protection of end users' rights and privacy. Now, he said that the Central Bank of Montenegro is committed to following modern national banking trends and maintaining an efficient financial system. In January, the Montenegrin Prime Minister announced the upcoming deal between Ripple and the Montenegrin Central Bank. Now, Ripple has been promoting its expansion in the CBDC space for months. According to Wallace, the company has multiple CBDC projects ongoing globally and is in dialogue with dozens of central banks. So, the state of Wyoming is a little upset with the Federal Reserve Board. That's because the Fed says that Wyoming's rules for special purpose depository institutions, that they're not good enough. SPDIs are banks that can deal with digital assets. Bridget Hill is the Wyoming Attorney General, and she filed a motion with the U.S. District Court in Wyoming to intervene in Custodia's lawsuit against the Federal Reserve Board and the Kansas City Fed. Custodia Bank, which is crypto-friendly, wants a master account and to join the Fed. But the Federal Reserve Board and the Kansas City Fed initially delayed and then denied the bank's request. Custodia applied to the Federal Reserve Board 18 months ago, and the Federal Reserve Board responded back in January. Their response was no. But they only explained why last month. They wrote an 86-page report that said Custodia's business plan was bad in every way. The report said that Custodia was risky for customers because they did not insure deposits federally. The report also said that Custodia relied too much on a strong crypto market. Caitlin Long is the CEO of Custodia, and she helped write Wyoming's crypto laws. She thinks the Federal Reserve Board is the one who's getting it all wrong. She says Custodia planned to have enough money to cover all its deposits. She says the reason for the denial is a conspiracy against crypto, Operation Choke Point 2.0, although she didn't mention it by name. Custodia's fight with the Federal Reserve Board is not just about crypto. It's also about these two banking systems in the U.S., because banks can use federal or state law to charter. Custodia's got a charter from Wyoming back in October of 2020. But the Fed doesn't think that's good enough. Effectively, that's what this lawsuit is all about. The report said that the Kansas City Fed blamed Wyoming's laws and regulations for the denial. For Attorney General Hill, this fight isn't about Custodia's application. They don't have much of a dog in that fight, to be honest. No, Attorney General Hill is looking to defend Wyoming. Hill's report argued that the Fed's view on Custodia could hurt Wyoming, and I get that. The report said that the Fed was unfair because it was skeptical of new banks in the digital asset space, like Custodia. But they're letting old banks, like BNY Mellon, do the same thing. BNY Mellon was a state-chartered bank in New York, not Wyoming, but it's pretty much the same thing, so they should have been treated similarly. And now our cover story for tonight. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission needs lawyers for its crypto enforcement division in New York, Washington, and San Francisco. They have posted a job opening for general attorneys to join the regulator's Crypto Asset and Cyber Unit. The agency had announced back in March that they would hire more staff for that unit. The unit was initially supposed to have 20 people, but it has now doubled in size. The SEC, led by Chair Gary Gensler, has been vigorously regulating the crypto industry. One might say attacking. This comes after several big failures in the sector, including FTX. That's why the regulator is now hiring attorneys to join the new crypto unit. These new hires will be responsible for investigating what they're called crypto asset securities. They'll be creating litigation plans, drafting legal documents such as subpoenas, and conducting depositions. The job posting said that the CACU is responsible for enforcing federal securities laws and that they have the full range of the division's investigative and law enforcement powers. The compensation for these attorney positions varies between $140,000 to $260,000 a year, depending on the location. And that's cheap compared to what the lawyers make on the private side of things. Speaking of which... So, the crypto exchange FTX is broke. They owe customers billions of dollars. So keep that in mind when I tell you that in February, FTX paid more than $30 million in monthly fees to lawyers. Monthly. The costs were listed in a new compensation report filed in bankruptcy court, which tells me one thing. It's very expensive to run out of money because bankruptcy requires lawyers, financial advisors, investment bankers, and consultants. At least bankruptcy's on this scale. Now, FTX paid around $29.7 million for compensation and another $407,000 for reimbursements, just for the month of February, the shortest month of the year. In February, FTX incurred legal bills from 6 different firms, one of which, Owl Hill Advisory, is owned by FTX restructuring CEO John J. Ray III. These firms provided legal, management consulting, and financial services to FTX. They worked more than 35,400 hours for FTX in February. Enron was also led through bankruptcy by John J. They paid lawyers $700 million during their bankruptcy process, which was a ton of money back in the day. So the $30 million that FTX paid in legal fees and advisory fees in February is slightly less than the $38 million it paid back in January. Sullivan and Cromwell charged FTX the most for legal services in February. They billed $13.5 million for working over 12,000 hours. In addition, they had expenses of $82,000. In their compensation report for February, they said that the work that they did for FTX during this period was one of the most complex and multidisciplinary exercises that any law firm has ever done in any area of law, which kind of bears out what we talked about last night, the Gordian knot of incompetence and greed that SBF tied together with his 3 conspirators. That would make it very challenging to unravel. Now, Sullivan and Cromwell carried out several activities for FTX during this period. They investigated the scope and nature of customer entitlements in the bankruptcy case. They organized corporate records and responded to law enforcement investigating their former CEO. And it's not just about this bankruptcy. There are others. Sullivan and Cromwell lawyers appeared in other crypto bankruptcy cases, including those of Voyager Digital and Celsius Networks. They were there to represent FTX. Sullivan and Cromwell partners charge up to $2,165 per hour. Now, the hourly rates of special counsel, associates, and paralegals are lower. Brian Gluckstein is one of those partners at Sullivan and Cromwell. He billed FTX $526,000 for his work in February. Just February. Alvarez and Marcel charged FTX $12 million for working 17,000 hours. They listed expenses at $229,000. Landis, Rath, and Cobb billed FTX $583,000 in compensation and $11,000 in reimbursements for 874 hours of work. Perella Weinberg charged FTX their monthly fee of $450,000 along with $78,000 in expenses. And remember what I just said, that's a monthly fee. It's not like they were doing necessarily work. Alex Partners charged FTX $3 million for working 3,796 hours and listed expenses of $5,000. FTX CEO John J. Ray III charged the exchange $308,000 in fees and expenses. He logged almost 240 hours of work in February, and I am in the wrong line of work. MetaMask introduced a new feature that allows users to buy crypto with fiat currency. This is meant to provide an easier way for users to purchase crypto. This new Buy Crypto feature lets MetaMask users purchase a variety of cryptocurrencies using debit or credit cards, PayPal, bank transfers, and instant ACH. It will be available in over 189 countries and will provide more than 90 tokens across 8 different networks: Ethereum, Polygon, Arbitrum, BNB Smart Chain, Avalanche Contract Chain, Phantom, Optimus, and Celo. To use the feature, MetaMask users can connect their wallets to the Portfolio dApp or click on the Buy button in the MetaMask extension wallet. They can then choose their region, payment method, and the token and network that they want to buy. This feature considers different factors, such as the user's location and local laws. Then it serves up a personalized quote for each purchase. After selecting a quote, the user will be directed to a third-party provider's website to complete the transaction. The funds will be transferred directly to the user's MetaMask wallet. MetaMask has collaborated with multiple organizations to onboard new users to its platform over the years. In 2022, MetaMask joined forces with PayPal. This partnership allowed MetaMask users to buy and transfer Ether via PayPal's platform. This service was introduced on December 14th. It permits users to buy and transfer Ethereum from PayPal to MetaMask through their mobile MetaMask app. Then they were redirected to their PayPal account to finish the transaction. Furthermore, on March 21st, MetaMask revealed a new partnership with MoonPay. This integration allows Nigerian users to buy crypto through instant bank transfers. The new feature is accessible in the MetaMask mobile app and the Portfolio dApp. It aims to provide a more straightforward and cost-effective way to buy crypto without using credit or debit cards. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank you, my listeners, because when you stop listening, I will stop talking. If you enjoyed tonight's show, then please like, follow, subscribe. Maybe leave a rating or a review. And in the meantime, we'll see you tomorrow night.